In case you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Abuja on NTH Channel 5, the Unity Station. We have a youth leader, I'll call him a youth leader. Okay. He is the chairman forum of national youth leaders of all political parties in Nigeria. Okay. He's going to be talking to us about youth involvement in good governance. Please join me as I welcome Mr. Eze Onyebuchi Chukwu.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And good morning, Abuja.
Good morning. Good morning to you. How was your night? Let me start by asking when you had a good night rest.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are talking about the youth. You know, this is the best time to address anything that has to do with their involvement in good governance. All right. Now let's look at the role of the internet or modern technology in good governance. So what's your take?
Well, the internet has become the new sheriff in town when it comes to helping good governance. You know, in the past, before the surge, we had a situation whereby it was very difficult for Nigerians to reach their leaders. But today, I can tell you for free that uh, ordinary post on social media tagging your leader is enough to reach him. So the internet has made it very easy for good governance in our Nigeria of today. So the internet has become like the major means of communicating with the leaders. It has brought a lot of succor in the difficulty between the youths, especially, and the leaders. So the internet, the role of the internet in ensuring good governance cannot be overemphasized.
And you and I know that the youth they clamored for inclusiveness in
Yes.
governance.
Yes.
So what would you say about that? What's your take?
The truth is that any nation that doesn't have plan to hand over leadership to the youths, they are not ready for growth. It's just like uh, uh, the father who has built empire planning to hand over to the son or any of the children, so that the business will not die because we can't be strong forever. So in a normal climb, it's not supposed to be in that way where the youth will be begging to be included in the governance of their own country. The problem is that we have a lot of people who don't see the country as their personal business, because I know for sure that every parent wants the children to be better than them. And that is why they train them, prepare them to take over the baton of life from them. So if we are building empire just like Nigeria, building your business, and you are not making any plan to hand over to the younger generation when you get tired, then you are not ready. You don't love that business. Yes.
So how do you think the youth can effectively utilize social media? Because we notice that the youths are the largest contributors.
Yes.
So how do you think they can utilize social media to enable to maybe to contribute to the growth of our economy?
The youths are already taking the bull by the horn. The youths are already leveraging on the social media to create jobs for themselves. So right now, the thing is, in social media, you can actually use it to create jobs. You can also use it to deprive yourself of jobs. It can make or mar anyone. So I would rather beg our government to a kind of support the youths, because right now the youth have taken this new movement or this new pathway of creating jobs for themselves. Some call it content creation, a lot of things they are doing on social media right now. But the major problem always with Nigerian youth is lack of support. So if the government will look into it, because they are taking away the burden of creating jobs and employment from government by creating jobs for themselves and then even employing others. So if government can leverage on this opportunity, a kind of design support for the youths. Maybe grant them easy loans or grants. Some of them want to go into this content creation and they don't have the equipment. So this will help.
Support.
They need the support of the government. This will help a lot in reducing the number of unemployed youths we have,
Okay.
alleviating poverty, and of course, curbing crime in our society.
There's been a lot of what do I call it, programs set up by the government for the youth.
Yes.
Don't you think that one of the challenges also is monitoring, follow up, who monitors to make sure? For instance, if government says, okay, I'm going to we're giving out loans to so 50 youths or 5,000 youths. Don't you think that one of the challenges we're facing is the monitoring,
Correct.
implementation, to make sure that it gets to the right people?
Good.
Don't you think so?
Implementation, execution, monitoring, these are more are the problems. Again, these programs, like last week, we made a press release as a forum and we distributed about 6 links to these programs. And most of the challenges is that you see some very stringent measures or requirements. Yeah, that before you even qualify to apply to be a big problem. Some of the youths get discouraged. It's a turn off to some of them. So they'll just be like, government don't want us to benefit, but it's not actually the truth. So then now when you even qualify and you get the money, government should also find a way to monitor those who are receiving this money,
Yes.
train them and make sure that the money is useful to them and utilized. Because when you empower one, that one will employ another. Before you know it, you're taking away unemployed youth from the streets.
Honestly. Now, let's look at the Japa syndrome. A lot of youth want to Japa, and I always say to people, there's no place like home. Your country can never be like the other country, understand? So now, I want you to lend your voice, to encourage you not to Japa. Except you want to join them.
No. I'm not an advocate of Japa. That's just the truth. I was opportune to travel to Germany in the past, and the experience I had there, I came back and told myself that it would be hard for me to just leave this country and say I want to go and live in another place. Our own is our own. They used to say that there's no place like home. As much as we agitate for our government to do the right thing, we should know that that place we are going to, it took other people, their owners, to build the place they were going to. So if all of us should japa away from this country, who then are we leaving the country to fix for us? So when we are here, we don't really know the rights we enjoy until we travel to a country where we are called strangers.
Or foreigners.
Or foreigners. So I will advise our youths to find a way of investing in this country. That is the only way we can build this country. Until by God's grace and through our efforts too, we will get our government to do the needful. For now, let's focus on building our nation.
Okay. So your final words now. What advice? You are a youth representative. You know what the youth want. You have seen a lot of things. You've seen a lot of programs, government programs set up for the youth and whatever. So what advice do you have for the government, not the youth this time? What advice would you have for the government, especially in terms of, just like we said, implementation, follow-up, monitoring?
Yes.
What advice do you have for them?
I will advise the government to take the youth more seriously. We know that in this country, whatever menace we want to fight as a country or as a government, the youth take the majority in that act. Talk about criminality, talk about protests, talk about election, everything that is going on in this country, 70% of that particular thing is going to be carried out by the youths. So it is time we pay huge attention to the young youths. If you have programs for the youths, make it easy and accessible, and create time to give it to people who will monitor it and make sure it gets to the youths. Also, the government should learn to publicize everything good they are doing for the youth, so that the youth will be aware of what the government is doing for them. So whenever anyone wants to instigate them into violence, they will be aware that the government is doing this or that and not be informed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, I also join you to say, please, like he said, whatever you're doing for the youth, let them know, let them see. When people hijack what belongs to them, that's what gets them angry.
Exactly.
For instance, you're sending maybe palliatives to a state, and you say to the state government, please, this 50 bag of rice is meant for the youth. And at the end of the day, when the youth do see it, they will never believe that the government has them at heart. Okay, so please, we need to, I'm also lending my voice to say, please, whatsoever that you need, because they are the ones that have all the energy, I tell you, and we need to help them, like I always say, to channel their energies to positive youth. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll be speaking with Mr. Eze Neguchi Chukwu. He is the chairman forum of the national youth leaders of all political parties in Nigeria, and we've been talking about youth involvement in good governance. The program is still Good Morning Abuja. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break.